chat. Welcome to my, yes my, I stole the stream from Rags, Minecraft Let's Play. We shall begin shortly. Minecraft Let's Play. We shall begin shortly.
Why does this have to happen now too? Every time why does this have to happen now? It's echoing. Every time why does this have to happen? I guess it stops playing game. This is a sign. It doesn't want me to not play games. Anyway, I was gonna do a whole bit with the suitcase, but the box was not big enough to fit in the suitcase. So yeah, I'm gonna. Also, this camera is just shitty. There's not bad lighting. The lighting is actually great in this room. At least from the perspective of my eyes. But this webcam sucks. I'm gonna be honest. I couldn't find the better one. I have a better one somewhere, but I couldn't find it. Anyway, box that has more tape than necessary because I didn't want to accidentally flip it, and my freaking address is there for the public eye to see. So if anyone has children watching, perchance, make little Timmy, maybe cover little Timmy's eyes, because I'm about to pull out something that I'm gonna pull out a tool you definitely don't want little Timmy to see, okay? He's not old enough yet. One of these. Actually, I shouldn't be handling one of these. I don't know where to cut this at all. Where's the seam? I guess I go here. That was surprisingly easy. Yeah, it was there. Oh. Wait, it's stuck. Am I supposed to? I see how this game is played. I gotta be really careful with this tape. Fine. If the stream just like suddenly ends, you'll know why. I'm kind of scared. Like, what if there's like an extra confirmation document or something? There's not. My God, it's protective stuff. I thought there was gonna be more layers until. Also, I thought it was gonna be way smaller. I was surprised too. This is ginormous. Why do they always make it in like A4 paper size? Yes, I wish he was. I wish the plague doctor was here to see this. But now I have this box. This taped in box. Yeah, this was what I was waiting for. It was a so funny thing. This was a the PowerBooks made this. The same people who made. I think I've showed off the SCP art books at some point. That I have, and it was another like Kickstarter that I helped that I put some money towards funding back in May last year. So I've been waiting almost a year for this. This is of course because I'm that type of guy. This is the limited edition. This is the collector's edition. Does it make the noise? It's not a book, it's comics. Look, stickers. No, shut up, please, actually shut up. It's comics. Stickers. Again, the lighting sucks here, but there's stickers. You're just gonna have to take my word for it. I think this is this also this is like one big sticker. The big sticker. No, I'm talking. Okay, you couldn't hear it, but every time I open this, because it's the collector's edition. Every time I open it, just let me just turn the mic a little. Now it's facing the comics. Where's the speaker? It's not picking up on it, I think. No, but it does like it does an alarm, and it says like attention. Why does it not pick up on it though? It is loud. Give it a moment. I guess it just has a better filter than I expected. if I just hold it like this. Enameled pins. Who doesn't love pins? If I can get the pin, please, without causing the noise again. It's getting quite annoying. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. I did this to myself. I knew it was gonna do this, and I still got the collector's edition because I'm like that. I see collector's edition and I'm like, ooh. Here, pins. Look, it's all your favorites. It's the mask. That is what the mask is. It's the creature. It's the doggo. It's the introvert. It's the slime guy. It's the liquefied puppy, and it's hard to see the last one, but it's the extra introverted introvert. It's that guy we don't talk about. The comics themselves, and then there's this little set of, I don't know what they call this, but it's like a display thing. This damn, the Plague Doctor's animation poke. He's T-posing. Anyway, thank you for tuning in to the unboxing part of this reading stream. I'm gonna have to figure out how to open this. I mean, I can't leave you all on. I can't leave you all without showing you some of the actual comics. By the way, this is not sponsored by. If I think I've more than proven this is not sponsored by Parabooks in any way. I wish it was, but I think I've proven it more than enough by complaining about the noise coming from the thingy every time I open it. There you go. Actually, let me make it face you. Hey, yay. I recognize some of those faces. I was never illiteracy. Seriously? First off, I've shown off the SCP art books before that I have. I have the actual art books, and I've done multiple SCP reading streams already. This is nothing new. Like, there was no illiterary arc, okay? There was no dyslexic arc. So open it, and this is like one of the first panels. I'm gonna. That's a reaction image if I've ever seen one. Right there, that's a reaction image. This is the average Rex fan in chat. Look, cats. At least one of you is gonna be like, holy shit, cats! I need to buy these now. Just gonna put those back in there. Along with the pins. I'm so afraid to open this too much and it's gonna play the noise again. It is way louder than I thought it would be. Also, my face is no secret. I just could not show both my face and the comic books at the same time, because again, this webcam sucks and it has no range. Also, I am. You can truly see how basementy it is in the background now. Like if I just move the whiteboard behind me, you're gonna see just I'm in the dungeon. The dungeon. Anyway, I'm gonna have to move. I'm gonna have to move all this stuff now. Damn it. No, but it's way bigger than I thought it would be. Let me go get the books, cause they were so big too. Like, these weigh 4 kilo. They weigh 4 kilo. And they are ginormous. And then which I guess they're art books, so it makes sense that they're A4 paper size. But then I get the comic books, and I'm like, okay, they're gonna be smaller. They're gonna be like comic book size. Then they come and they again, giant. Just put this off to the side. It's time to actually read. Why can you not use TTS? Well, you see, you can.
Skill is your merit, sir.
Yeah. Honestly, yes. I'm gonna have to raise this table more. Oh. I cannot raise the table more because then a wire is going. I'm afraid a wire will just kill itself if I do. Also, I do not remember which part I got to. I'm gonna be totally. I should have checked that out. I knew I forgot something pre-stream. There was something I forgot. I don't remember which part I got to. No. I did that one. I did that one. That one I did. I did that one. That was the snake one. The snake one. The outsider. I did the outsider. That was the one whose house burned down. Age. I don't think I did this one. No, wait, I did that one. That was the guy who just blew up. He blew up immediately upon becoming non-immortal because he just had stuffed so much metal inside of him. Like, imagine, that's a skill issue. That's honest. Hey, anyone mention snakes? It's me or boss. Which one is this? Which SCP? I feel like Rex is bullying me. Too sick. Actually, I don't know if this is big enough for you guys to see, so I'm gonna do what Rex is afraid to do and make it full screen. There you go. And Where is it? This. Move that up. Actually, it's not full. It's not fully full screen. Why is it not snapping? I blame Rex for this. There you go. That's close enough. We make the entire wiki and put specific sound bubbles so you can get the entirety read by a raccoon. No. But do you guys see this? Do you guys see this? This is an insult to my... Well, I guess it depends. I think this is a pretty good SCP, so I guess it's not an insult to my name. But really, making me read this one? Also, this is a standing stream. I'm standing up for once. Because I will not stand up or do any form of physical motion when I'm gaming, but when it comes to reading something arguably more productive on its own, sure, I'll stand up. It was mostly just because I needed to unbox the box. That's the only reason it's a standing stream. I'm too lazy to bring the table back down and bring the chair over. It sounds like I'm joking, but that's literally it. That's the entire reason for why this is a standing stream. I'm too lazy to sit back down. That's peak laziness. What about this one? Green? Was that the shapeshifter? Remember, it appears to be... Perhaps most of us always being seen in green. Okay, I don't think I read this one. This is where we are. Halfway through. So I have to do the rest. I might sit down at some point, I'm gonna be honest. I have to read the rest of this. I might read, yeah. Hold on. Just for the full experience, Does that actually? No, it does not. There you go. Green. 05-7- Caucasian female. British/German ancestry. Appears to be in her early 50s. British! That's how you know she's evil. I'm not gonna respond to that, YT. Appears to be in her early 50s. The first member of the council voted into it rather than appointment by 05-1, after the previous 05-7 was determined to be no longer useful by the rest of the council. It is believed to have at one point been a site director, though any records of this have long since been modified or outright removed. Regardless, it is believed that 05-7 has been working within the foundation nearly her entire life, having joined it as an administrative aide when she was only 14. Damn, she was on the grind. Has become the apparent leader of the council and controls a considerable amount of authority in that position. While a veto from 05-1 could theoretically subvert her assumed control, that veto has never occurred. Perhaps the most often seen member of the council, she attained the name Green due to her nearly always being seen in green pantsuits. Some high-level sources within the Foundation staff have another name for her, Flytrap, often described as the most sinister member of the council, while other members might have diabolical intentions or ulterior motives. 05-7 alone has the authority to make everything she intends to happen come to pass. She's often described as working towards some end, though her goals are a mystery. Journal entry. We do the journal entry first. Actually, no, we don't. And I was just kidding. That'd be foolish of me. Access log. Chapter WII. Also known as Chapter 7, if you can read Roman numerals or had been following along and saw that this was the 7th one, pretty self-explanatory. The fly trap. No, I'm sorry, it's just because you guys use W more. It sounds weird. Will I speak a language where V is considered the less, is considered, it's weird to explain. But I look at this and my first thought is W because that's the more commonly used letter in English, and also for some reason you don't call W double V like any other regular language. You just don't say V a lot, okay? So my mind immediately went, W. Alright, continue. Then, a young boy stands in a long line of men and women in orange jumpsuits. He has a metal collar around his neck. He is marched out into the cold with a shovel in his hands, and as an adult with a flamethrower pushed back the encroaching flesh, he pushes the ashes into a small pile to be collected. He is thin and sick. The camp hasn't received rations in 3 days, but the guards stay fed. There is a commotion, and bullets whip across the frozen earth. The boy dives for cover behind a pile of fleshy corpses and covers his ears against the screaming and shouting around him. It lingers for a moment, and then silence. When he opens his eyes, Anthony is leaning down to pick him up. The older man throws a warm blanket across Adam's shoulders and carries him to a waiting personnel vehicle. Is it personnel vehicle or personal vehicle? It is a double V though. There's 2 V's. In fact, I think what we're missing out on here is calling M double N. Because it is a double N. Let's be honest here. Well, I guess not in the capitalized version. It's not a double. It's not very double N-y, but... No, we don't, but we should. Aaron Siegel stands at the podium, delivering news of breakthrough to the first assembly of their new foundation. He beams as the audience applauds. The new foundation? Foundation? And it's capitalized? I wonder what kind of foundation that is. The incredible Ivory flees down a dark alleyway in the free Portland. Foundation agent fast on... What? Foundation agents? But that's plural. Fast on her heels? But her... That would imply singular. I'm not saying this is a mistake, because this story has a lot of symbolism and confusing little details. So I'm just gonna go with it. Foundation agents fast on her heels. She has run for what has felt like hours now. Knows she does not have much left to give. She hears dogs barking and her legs burn like cinders. She catches sight of another agent rounding the corner in front of her, so she stumbles down a side street. It opens into a quiet intersection, but she can hear them approaching from all around her. Exhausted and resigned, she collapses in the street. Paint and blood are smeared on her clothes, and she laughs now seeing the mess. Well, she thinks at least they'll give me something to change into. Oh, well, she thinks. At least they'll give me something to change into. This will be my complaint here. I would like some quotation marks around the text when it's someone actually thinking something. Did you call F upside down T too? No, because it's not. If you put an F upside down, it wouldn't be a T. First off, the little hook or whatever you want to call it would go in the opposite direction. Second off, the line would be way lower than on the T. The incredible Ivory flees down an alleyway and... Oh wait, I've read this already. At least a moment later, a car screeches to a halt in front of her, and Calvin pulls her into the car. When the Foundation agents exit the alleyway, she is nowhere to be found. Oh, I get it now. Foundation agents fast on her heels. So like they are following her. That's what it meant. A phone is ringing. In the distance is a mountain of fire and the sound of roaring machines and the continent being sundered. The earth shakes. Arians keeps the car straight on the road even as it bucks and buckles beneath him. In the back seat, Aaron is staring at the floor. Through a small crack between two rocks, a man squeezes through, followed shortly by his rucksack. He strikes a match, filling the chamber with light. Small white insects, those that haven't seen the light of day in a hundred generations, scurry for cover. The man lights his lantern and starts forward. There's a draft from somewhere beyond this room, so he follows it. He ducks carefully under rock formations, tenderly brushing up against them so as to not disturb them. A bat flies low overhead, and he is encouraged. This must be the right way. He presses on, and from somewhere not far off, he can hear the sound of rushing water. He opens into another cavern. But before he can get his bearings, his foot snags the edge of the walkway and he tumbles to the ground, his lantern dashing and shattering against the ground, spilling oil and fire out in every direction. He hurries to stand, rubbing his side where he'd struck hard stone, but before he can move to put the fire out, a miracle catches his eyes. His eye? Just eye. In front of him is a waterfall, small but dozens of feet high. He approaches it cautiously, extending a hand out into the waters which he now sees flow up and around his hand. He splashes the water which continues to flow up and out of the pool at his feet, towards some point in the dark far above him. In the dimming light of the cavern, standing before an impossibility, Frederick Williams grins. I remember Williams. I don't remember exactly when in the story Williams plays, but I think he's like one of the agents that abuse those children to make a make a weapon that can destroy anything anywhere. If you weren't here for the other reading streams of this SCP, you'd be really confused by now. QDBP. Yeah, those are very similar letters, but none of them are double of the other. Okay, we're only counting doubles. Also, you remember what I said about not sitting down? I'm sitting down. I'm gonna go sit down. I'm gonna go get the chair. Yeah. Because it rolls off the tongue better to say double something than flipped something. So that's why it just does. Now, image of some sort of I'm gonna be honest, I'm no geogesser, but this looks southern, like a little bit jungle-ish. I wouldn't say full-on jungle, but definitely jungle-ish, and then like a dock. Yeah, I was saying this whole thing started off with me saying double V should be double V. Adam burst into a clearing, hands clapping at his face as he swerved and ducked away from the great many tiny assailants. Olivia wasn't far behind, followed closely by Calvin, no, not the underwear brand, and Anthony. Of the four of them, Olivia had fared the best in the jungle. Calvin had slipped and fallen into quicksand, which now covered his lower half as he was an ice cream man cone. What a crazy thing to say. Also, seriously, Calvin, you've killed like a good five, four of the 605 that have been killed so far has been Calvin. But like you can still trip and fall. You manage to trip and fall into quicksand. Anthony was drenched head to toe in sweat from the humidity, and he grumbled and fumed each step of the way at the fucking dog shit heat. Lastly, Adam had earned the attention of a swarm of bugs, which, to his telling, had now followed him for the better part of the last mile since their car had broken down. Calvin had called a general halt to their progress to survey a map and some notes he had received from Delta. Of the 7th overseer, the journal had been scanned. She moves often, but Delta had been watching the movements of the other one they called Green for weeks. True to the journal's description, she had moved more frequently than any of the others, often staying at a location for no more than a few days at best. But here, deep in the heart of these forests, she was said to have been staying for over a month. I don't like it, Anthony had said, chewing on the end of his cigar. This feels like a trap. Sorry, just making sure chat was up to date. Yeah, Adam had answered. We don't actually know that she's there either. We just know that we haven't seen her leave. There are plenty of ways she could have gotten out. Calvin had stroked his beard at the thought, catching Olivia's eye from across the room before she quickly looked away. You're right. This is profoundly sketchy. But if our sources are correct, and she's where we think she is, we might not get another chance at this. We have to act now. So it was then that they arrived in Cambodia. Flip P, but that sounds too much like Flippy. We already have letters that sounds like words. Also, you can't really say that quickly, can you? Flip P versus like W. Like, imagine having to spell something. Imagine having to spell question. Flip P. Well, to start off, Flip P. Anyway, Cambodia, Anthony shouted, tearing yet another piece of his shirt away from his body. Cambodia of all places. If the bugs don't kill you, the wretched heat will. He pulled out a fan and began to feverishly wave it in front of his face. I have had enough of this part of the world for one lifetime. If I ever have to spend another day in these god-awful jungles, it won't have to come soon enough. Calvin surveyed the map, noting a nearby river as a landmark. We're close now. Once we're in the city, we need to meet up with Vanderveer. He'll be here, in this bar. He has contacts that can get us to where we need to go. He pulled a bandana out and started wrapping it around his face. Put something up over your face. You need to stay as discreet as possible here. I feel like putting something on your face. www, by the way. I feel like being discreet is not putting something over you. I feel like if you see someone like covering the face, you definitely like immediately something is up. Unless it's like a culture thing. Like if someone, it entire to be fair, it entirely depends how someone is covering their face. If they have like a face mask on, then you're probably just like, well, they're either sick or something. But like, and if it's like, I don't remember what they're called. They're like covering. Some cultures do, where they have to cover the face. That's fine too. But like, if someone comes like, they they have like a scarf on that they pulled all the way up, like they have a cap, they have like a hat on, a cap on that they've pulled way down over their forehead. Either that they're trying to hide a barber's really bad job, or they're trying to hide their identity. Flip P is not better than W. Anyway, starting wrap it up. Put something over your face. You need to stay as discreet as possible here. He stuck a finger out towards Adam and Anthony. You two pasty faces stick out. Anthony grunted, but Adam whipped his head round, face red from sustained smacks. Hang on, what now? Why do we need to hide our faces? Calvin tucked his map in the journal away. Same reason the overseer is here right now. Political unrest. Vanderveer says there's an artifact of some kind being held by the local revolutionaries. That Green has come in personally to treat with them and get it back. Adam's face went white. Why isn't Overseer coming to treat with revolutionaries? I was not saying flip B, I was saying flip P. No, I'm saying what I was saying. You said I would. You were saying it would not be flip B, but I was saying flip P. And I was the one who first said flippy, by the way. It was like, it sounds like flippy, but that would cause confusion, and that's not great. Because, again, we already have so many letters that sound like a word. Alright. Don't be fooled, Anthony said, slinging Adam's canister over his shoulder. This isn't a diplomatic mission. Green gets off on this kind of shit. If she's here, that means something disastrous is about to happen. After quickly cleaning themselves off and covering their faces, the four of them kept back into the brush in the direction of the nearby city. Calvin slunk behind a wall as a group of rioters passed by him, torches illuminating the dark streets. Somewhere not far off, he could hear the sound of gunfire and car alarms, and the occasional loud boom of a tank as the government moved troops into the city. He waited until they were gone and moved quickly towards the east. They had gotten separated Excuse me? They had gotten separated early on after a mob had formed around a grocery they were passing by. Anthony had radioed in that he was fine and moving towards the target, and Olivia and Adam had met up a few blocks later. Under the orange fabric of an awning, he saw a single light illuminating a sign, Pedro's Place, and an open door. He slipped through it, and the sound of the streets faded behind him. Pedro's Place had emptied out earlier in the day when a break had come through one of the front windows, but a handful of patrons still sat at the bar. The broken glass had been swept into a small pile in the corner and left untouched. Calvin entered casually, not rising to meet any of the eyes that crossed the room in his direction. He found a seat near the back of the small room at a table in a far corner and hunched down to hide his features. After a moment, the bartender came by his table. "What you have?" the bartender said in broken English. Calvin knocked on the table twice, then twice again, then 3 times. "I'll have what he's having." The bartender paused and nodded and left. A few moments passed, and then another man returned to the table with beers in each hand. The man was a stout individual with fiery red hair and a lit cigarette burning in the corner of his mouth. He took a seat across from Calvin, sliding one of them across towards him. "Cheers, Calvin," he said. "Drink up, you'll likely be dead in the morning." Calvin grinned through his handkerchief, which he quickly removed. "Ban," he said. "Aren't you a sight for sore eyes?" Vanderveer shrugged. "Must be pretty sore then." He took a drink. "Where's the rest of your band of merry men? I was promised a wedding party, not a single..." Excuse me again. "Over the hill operative." Calvin snorted. "We were separated. Anthony is moving ahead to the watch point, and Liv and the kid are on their way. We should meet them on our way out." Vanderveer nodded. "Once they arrive, we'll need to move quickly. We won't have an abundance of time to act. If the riots dissipate, we've lost our opportunity. Our only cover right now is that the streets are full of looters, and we're just a handful of tourists." They were interrupted by a barking dog outside, which quickly faded into the hum of the background. Calvin took another drink. "What's going on out there?" "Local politics," Vanderveer said. "Kavir came in and set up here a number of years ago and thoroughly fucked the water. They were doing what they usually do, come in, set up, dig furiously, and then wait until the jailers come and force them out. Only this time, the Foundation didn't show up." He laughed. "You probably had a hand in that." It was Calvin's turn to shrug as Vanderveer continued. "Anyway, there are 3 sides to this. On one hand, you have the local officials, all of whom were receiving kickbacks from the Curvier and are seen as having betrayed their countrymen. Then you got these folks, let's call them revolutionaries, who have been pushing to overthrow the government for a while. When the details of the Curvier deal came out, they decided it was their time to shine and rose up in masses. They holed up down at the governor's manor, supposedly meeting with the local governor to reach some agreement. Fact is, they're only there so Green can stoke them and disrupt the agreements and send the country into a civil war. Once it's properly destabilized, the jailers can swoop in and raid the armory where they're keeping this thing they want to get their hands on so badly. Who are the people on the street? Calvin asked. Rioters. They're all just unhappy with the government, and while most of them probably align with the revolutionaries, not all of them do. Mostly they just want to riot. They're dissatisfied and angry and want to loot and pillage. They're the most dangerous of the three sides right now, because if their attitudes turn especially violent, we could be swept up in it before we have time to get out of Dodge. The sound of the street outside grew louder for a moment as the door opened and through it stepped a man and a woman. Calvin nodded and Vanderveer stood. Time to roll, the husky Irishman said. For the insurgency. Calvin took his extended hand. For the insurgency. Olivia and Adam fell in behind them, and together the four snuck quickly out of a concealed side door. As they passed the bartender, the man gave them a nervous nod. Once they were out on a side street, Vanderveer pointed towards the lights in the distance. That's where we're going. Wait, hold on. That's where we're going, he said, voice rising slightly to be heard over the din of the crowd. The revolutionaries have set up there. To get inside, we'll need to meet up with one of my contacts, Joe. He glanced down at his phone. I was hoping to have heard from him by now, but there's really not much time to wait. Let's go. They took off in the direction of the governor's manor, sticking mostly to the side streets to avoid the rioters and larger gatherings. As they paused to wait for a mob to pass, Calvin pulled out his radio and called Anthony. Anthony, he said, do you read? Where are you? The radio crackled a response. Made it to the watch point. There's a throng of duels down here pillaging an electronics shop. So I've gone onto the roof. Where are you? We're leaving Petro's now. Any sign of our target? Not yet. She should be pretty easy to spot. What with the jumpsuit and all. The radio was silent. Be advised, Calvin. There are a lot of troops moving out of the manor now. They're keeping out of the main street here, and I don't think anyone on the ground has noticed. If things turn sour here, I think they're going to break really, really badly. Calvin took a deep breath. Roger that. We'll meet you soon. The four of them skirted past the burning shop and down a narrow street with a tight bend at the end. Approaching it, Vanderveer held up a hand and they stopped as he peered around the corner. He turned back and swore. Looters, he said. He pulled a sidearm from its holster. Don't do anything stupid. He sidled around the corner with the rest of them not far behind as they approached a group of people emptying a store of its contents. One of the looters noticed them and then they all did. Vanderveer sucked in his chest and smiled, extending his arms. Evening, lads, he said with as much gusto as he could muster. Just passing through. See? Don't want any trouble. Got money if you want it. No problemos here. One of the looters looks back towards the others and then turned back towards the group, nodding. Vanderveer produced his wallet and stepped forward slowly, holding it out in front of him. There you go, he said. Nice and easy now. Suddenly, bullets zipped through the group of looters, and the men and women began falling over each other. One of them pulled a gun and began firing into the dark behind them, and then everyone had guns. Ben turned to run back towards the other three, but a stray shot caught him in the leg and he collapsed, cursing. Calvin ran up to grab him as he fell, and the three of them started to pull him off the street. Vanderveer looked back towards the group of rioters, his eyes growing wide. "Gas," he said, pointing. "Jailers." A cloud of gas had formed over the bodies of the dead and dying looters, which crept towards the group. Out of the cloud emerged dark shapes with masks and rifles and riot armor. Even from the distance they were at, Calvin could make out the insignia on their shoulders. 9-tailed fox. "Oh shit," Adam said under his breath, and suddenly the group was in near sprint, with Calvin heaving the hefty Vanderveer over his shoulder to keep up the pace. They darted down the side streets, but no matter where they turned, more armored shapes emerged from the shadows. They turned again and found themselves in a dead end. "Fuck," Olivia said, turning back towards where a group of Foundation agents now stood at the entrance to the alley they had walked into. Vanderveer swung around on Calvin's shoulder, firing furiously at the agents. One of them collapsed, then another. A bullet pinged off one of their masks, and the agent disappeared behind the rest. Then, one near the front produced a thick steel canister, pulled the tab, and rolled it towards them. Thick orange gas blew out of the can from both ends, filling the alley. Calvin moved to run forward, but each step into the cloud felt like 1,000, and suddenly he was as heavy as lead. He heard Vanderveer swear as he fell from Calvin's shoulder, and then he heard Adam hit the ground, and then himself, and then the world went black. Calvin's awoke, cotton-mouthed and groggy, unable to see through a dark band wrapped around his eyes. He felt for his wrist, cuffed, and his ankles as well. He reached as far backwards with his hands as he could, and felt something cold but very alive. Olivia. Somewhere nearby, he heard the unmistakable sound of Adam snoring. "Captain," then a voice. "Captain, Captain, Captain," it said slowly and steadily. It was a rich voice, vaguely southern, full-textured and hearty, and clearly female. The voice was that of someone very sure of where they stood. "I should start giving you menial scouting missions more often, when you come back with prices like these." Another voice, this time male, harsh. "Are these the insurgents?" "Yes, I believe they are," the woman said. Calvin heard footsteps and then nothing. "This one is out of place. We're missing one." "What would you like done with him?" the man said. One paused, considering. "Well, no point in waking him, I think. All in all, a better way than what we have in store for the rest of them." There was a heavier sound as the man, clearly in boots, crossed the room. Calvin heard the sound of a bullet sliding into its chamber, and then the ear-piercing pop of a gunshot. Calvin jumped and heard Olivia scream from behind him. Look, they're awake. Get them up, hurry. We don't have a ton of time." More footsteps, and then Calvin was yanked upwards by two sets of hands. The hands pushed him against the wall, and another pulled the blindfold off his face. He squinted against the glare of the lights, and then as the room became clear, he was met with the sight of a shot. Squat. He was met with the sight of a short, squat woman in a dark green pantsuit. She wasn't old, maybe early 50s, and she wore black shoes with green flowers on them. She was leaning down to look at him quizzically. Like some bird of prey lurking over a meal. Calvin turned to his left and right, confirming that Olivia and Adam were there with him and generally no worse for wear. He glanced into the corner of the room and then back. Quickly. Vanderveer lay dead on the ground, a bullet hole placed between his eyes. The door to the room cracked open. "What was that?" asked a voice on the other side. "Who you shooting?" The woman in the pantsuit waved them off. "Don't worry about that. I'm dealing with a personal issue. You understand? Personal. Personal. That means no you. Scooch." The door slid closed, and she turned back towards the group, smiling. Well, she said, clapping her hands together. "And here I thought I was going to have to spend time looking for you three, and you walked right into one of my patrols. That's just something, I tell you what." Noticing that Olivia was staring at Vanderveer, the woman gestured dismissively. "Oh, don't you worry about him, Sug. He went quick and easy. You're about to have a harder time of it, I'm afraid." She turned back towards an open window. From outside, they could hear the sound of the throng of revolutionaries in the street. "Introductions. Where are my manners? Goodness. My mama would have whooped me for that. My name is unimportant. You can just call me Green. Everybody does. You probably do too. As for you three," she paused, finger held against the side of her face. "The skinny one here is a runaway D-class. The skinny... Can I say that word? The skinny B word is the anarchist who got away. And you, why, you're Calvin Lucian, aren't you? Tired of lobbing grenades at unarmed convoys, you've decided to step up to the big leagues and have a crack at some overseers." She laughed, a warm, wholesome laugh. "I've got to hand it to you, Calvin. You've got some balls. I don't know what's in the water wherever you're from, but it's some pretty potent stuff. Some of my own could use a tall glass of it." Green turned back towards the window. "Now I know what you're here to do. Well, we all do by now. Some of my fellows decided to turn tail and run for their holes after that little stunt you pulled with poor old Felix. Very clever, by the way. You know what's funny is that Felix himself had worried about that a long time ago. In order to assure him Aaron had the fountain drained and the ground upturned until there was nothing left. And there you were, doing something that shouldn't have been able to be done. Very, very clever," she continued. "But while there might be content to hold up for a while until this blows over, I've got work to do. The Foundation doesn't run by itself, and it certainly doesn't run if there's nobody telling it to go. Besides," she turned her head and to look back at them, her eyes steely and her smile crooked and devilish, "this is the most alive I've felt in years." Calvin grunted. "You peach." Green laughed again. Georgia, grown, isn't that fitting? She crossed the room again in a hurry. So here's what I'm going to offer you, Calvin. Something of a wager. Have you ever watched a fly at a fly trap? That's the most natural gamble out there. The fly is gambling that it can make it down to that sweet, sweet nectar and out before the fly trap snaps shut. The fly is willing to take that bet, though, because the nectar is so good and it's right there. She pointed at Adam and Olivia. I'm going to offer you lives for life. Easy. You let me kill one of the two of them. Your choice. I'm not unfair. And I let you do whatever you want to me. Kill, maim, butcher, whatever. Or, and here's where it gets interesting. You refuse and I leave this room. Go into that room. She pointed a pudgy finger at the door that had opened earlier and put a bullet into the neck of Yinko. Something or other. The revolutionary leader. Of Yinko something or other. The revolutionary leader. You and your two friends here might make it out alive, but as soon as that throng in the street find out their golden boy was gunned down by the troops now firing on them, they'll set the whole countryside alight. Ugh. I got too caught up in the story I've been reading for a while. My voice is already getting bad. This is gonna be a short stream. I'm probably only gonna finish this one. I might just do like one little bit at a time, one person at a time stream. Green squatted down in front of him, both hands held out in front of her. That's where it is, Calvin. There's the nectar. It's right there. All you have to do is reach out and take it. Calvin struggled against his restraints. One of the guards behind him put the butt of his rifle onto Calvin's back, knocking him over. You, he said. Green rolled her eyes. You should have learned some more words and gone to church when you were younger, Calvin. Take me, Calvin heard. Oh wait, take me, Calvin heard Olivia say next to him. Her voice was hoarse. Calvin, she's going to kill one of us anyway. How else are we going to get the chance? The woman laughed. She's right, Calvin. Somebody is dying tonight, and you get to decide who. Come on now. We don't have all night. Ping Pong is not a patient man. He motioned at him and the guards set him back up. Fine, Calvin said, spitting out blood. Shoot me. Let those two go. Green didn't laugh, but his smile grew unnaturally wide. No, Calvin. That's not how the game is played. You don't get to choose yourself. You think this is some kind of a noble sacrifice you'd be making? Now she laughed. You would have thought, after so many years of losing, the insurgency would have figured this out by now. There are no noble sacrifices, Calvin. Here's what will happen. You will choose one of your friends, or those people out there, and I live or die. If I live, I go back to work, and we will place the overseers you've killed. It certainly wouldn't be the first time. If I die, you get to feel like you've won something for a moment, and then you are either killed by the masses outside those doors, or killed by our agents, or die of the flu or whatever. Maybe you'll kill another overseer. Gene is looking wobbly right now. He'd be a good target. Either way, eventually you will reach a point where you have exhausted your efforts and then you'll stop trying. You'll run into a mountain you can't climb, and believe me, that mountain is coming up soon. You'll realize that this tower was built to not be climbed, and you'll give up. As soon as you give up, none of the deaths mean anything. It doesn't matter if it's you, or her, or me. She stood up, hands still outstretched. Do you know what makes sacrificing worth it? Oh god. No, it finally happened. A word that I don't know.
Perpetuity.
God damn it, I can't.
Perpetuity.
I can't. No, I literally can't hear it. For some reason,
Perpetuity.
it doesn't come from my headset.
Perpetuity.
I'm gonna have to pull up my own stream.
Perpetuity. 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 Perpetuity.
Perpetuity. Okay. You know what makes it worth it? Perpetuity. You either keep going and live forever, or you die and history forgets. She laughed. The worst part is, honestly, you really have no idea what you're doing. Calvin opened his mouth to talk, but Green held out a finger to silence him. I know what you think you're doing, but honey, you were messed up from the word go. You think that killing people will stop the Foundation? And well, she paused pensively. You should ask Aaron Siegel about that. Hard to kill an idea. She turned her hand back over. Last chance. Make a choice. Fly. Calvin struggled against his restraints for a second more. Green sighed. Fine. No, this is actually what I wanted in the first place anyway. She gestured at the captain, who strode towards the door. Olivia shouted out and lunged towards him, but was rebuked by the end of his rifle. He kicked the door open and fired 3 times through the doorway. There was shouting on the other side, and then he fired again until the shouting stopped. He nodded to someone in the room and walked through, followed by the other agents. They heard another door open in the next room and the sound of something wet and heavy hitting concrete. The crowd outside went silent. A moment later, there was a single gunshot, and then a thousand. The mob erupted and the earth began to shake. More gunshots filled the air, and they could smell the distinct scent of gunpowder and searing flesh. Green turned to gather her things. You know that thing I said earlier about fly traps? Here's what's funny about that. Even if they don't go for the nectar, it's too late. They won't ever get out. The fly is made to do all sorts of things, but the fly trap is just there to catch the fly. But they keep coming, because the nectar sure does look good. She turned to look at them. I wonder who will be next. Suddenly Adam was on his feet, his cuffs and a nail clattering to the ground. He had taken 3 steps when Green had her gun out inches from his face. He stopped suddenly, legs shaking, and Green cocked her head and smiled. Oh no, she said. Sorry, honey, but it's not going to be you. Calvin saw a flash of light out the window, and then Green was stumbling backwards, clutching her hand, cursing. Blood rushed between her fingers. From on the table next to her, a confiscated radio crackled. Run! It was Anthony. Adam snagged the key off the table as Green ran out the room. Once unshackled, Calvin collected their weapons and the radio. Anthony, he said, running to the next room. Do you have eyes? Where's she at? On the roof, Anthony said. There's a helicopter landing right now. I'm heading your way. As they rounded the corner, 3 of the revolutionaries stormed up the stairs, gun drawn. They opened fire on the 3, forcing Calvin behind the table and Olivia back into the first room. Calvin returned fire, catching the first man in the shoulder and forcing him back. Olivia fired blind, but missed. 2 more were coming up the stairs behind them, and more could be heard below. Calvin could barely hear the crowd below them over the din of the helicopter above. Calvin reloaded, but out of the corner of his eye, he saw Adam sprinting around the corner behind Olivia, something long and slender in his hand. Before Calvin could shout out him, Adam had the spear of the non-believer cocked back and aimed at the men in the stairwell. In the moment before he loosed it, Calvin felt the air get sucked out of the room. Silence filled the space where noise had been a second prior, and the lights dimmed. He grabbed his chest, unable to breathe, and managed to get turned just enough to look over the table towards the stairwell. There was a roaring sound like a locomotive passing over them, and a blast of light and heat. The spear whipped through the air towards the men on the stairs, piercing each of them in succession and embedding itself on the wall behind them. As it passed through them, they burst into flames and were quickly reduced to ash. The last sound from their lips being the faint whisper of a scream before being silenced forever. Calvin stood up unsteady, his expression covered with disbelief. Adam stumbled backwards, bracing first against the wall and then Olivia as she came in behind him to scoop him up. He ran a hand through his hair, eyes wide and mouth hanging open. Wow, he really pulled the old move up, using like a late game weapon on a bunch of noobs. Kind of unfair, dude. Kind of unfair. That's unbalanced. They really need to nerf that spear. Holy shit, he said quietly. I don't know what I was expecting, but oh god. No time, come on, Calvin said before realizing that Adam could barely stand. Olivia, stay here with him. Anthony will be up soon. I'll get Green. Olivia nodded. Calvin bounded up the stairs towards the roof. Oh, welcome back, Eric. Calvin bounded up the stairs towards the roof, taking the door with a lowered shoulder and bowling out onto the platform above. The helicopter was just a few steps away, and Green was standing on the railing when she saw him. She extended her free hand in greeting. This is it, Calvin. Her voice cut over the sound of the helicopter and the crowd below, which was now in a frenzy. Fires had broken out across the entire quad, and more cropping up in the distance as the city began to burn. This is the world your actions lead to. I hope it was worth it. Why is your cat trying to murder you, if I may ask? Has Green not realized some men just want to see the world burn? Has she not seen that Batman movie? Oh, you didn't let her eat your charging cable. Understandable. Those are yummy. Calvin pulled out his sidearm and fired at her. He missed once, then twice, and then an explosion rocked the building and his gun fell from his hand. He reached out to grab it, but was too slow, and it disappeared over the edge of the roof. With Green laughing over the noise, the helicopter began to ascend. Calvin felt someone come up beside him. Anthony planted a knee into the ground, taking aim with his scoped rifle. Fired a round. It pinged off the metal just beside Screen, whose eyes grew wide with something like glee upon seeing him. Ah, Vince Gilligan. I don't even remember who Vince Gilligan is. I just exclaimed that upon seeing the word Vince. Actually, I think I know who Vince Gilligan is. It's the guy who made Breaking Bad. Isn't it? Bravo, Vince, bravo. Ah, Vince, you were late. I had hoped I'd get the chance to catch up with you too. She blew him a big kiss. I'll tell Aaron you said hi when I see him next. Anthony lined up another shot, but was wide when he pulled the trigger. The helicopter continued to climb. He fired again. Nothing. Then something streaked out of the crowd below them. A rocket. It arced into the sky and disappeared into the open door of the helicopter. For a moment, nothing happened. Green didn't look like she'd even seen it. Then scarlet filled the sky as the rocket and helicopter both burst into flames and fell to the earth. The blades were spun out into the crowd, and the flaming mass of metal struck a nearby building. The fuel exploded, and both the wreckage and the building collapsed into the crowd below them. Another explosion rocked it. What is this? Is this freaking paragraph directed by Michael Bay? Another explosion rocked the ground beneath them, and then another. Overhead, low-flying shapes came into view, moving quickly past them and away into the distance. Moments later, fire lit up the horizon, drawing closer to them. Another wave of ships passed by. Jets, and then more fire. One of them struck the street right outside the governor's manor, causing Calvin to stumble. Anthony caught him by the jacket and pulled him up to his feet. Yes, reading stream. Time to go, kid, he said. Oh my god, there's still so much. I've come to an agreement here. You coming in a little late, Ricky. It's a bit unfair. I came to this agreement that when there was no one else but me here, but especially today, because for some reason my voice is not doing it today. Like it hurts to speak at the moment, so I mostly wanted to just show off the SCP. I'll show them off again at the end of the stream for those who missed the start of the stream. But yeah, that, and then I'll quickly read one of these chapters, and I've come to the agreement, since this one is so long, each stream I'll read one part of it. One director. Not director, 105. Anyway, pulled him to his feet. Time to go, kid, he said. They sprinted to the rooftop access and down the stairs where Adam and Olivia were waiting, motioning for them to follow. Anthony led them down another stairwell into the kitchens. They danced around falling pots and pans as more explosions sent shockwaves through the walls of the manor, the mortar and brick beginning to give way in places as the ceiling above them cracked and splintered. They turned one corner, and then another, and then a third led them to a side door that Anthony lowered his shoulder into, flinging it open and emptying them into them out onto the street. They stood between the now crumbling manor and the building adjacent that had caught the flaming helicopter as it fell from the sky. At the end of the alley, they could see the mob converging on soldiers who opened fire into the mass. Above them, more planes screamed overhead and more bombs fell onto the crazed populace. Anthony turned back to the other end of the street. Down there, he pointed at the end of the street. There was a carpool when I came in the back. There's liable to be something in there that we can. He was cut short by a scream of something unnatural. Turning back towards the flaming wreck of the building next to the manor, they saw a fiery figure step out of the wreckage. Its skin had sloughed off half its face, and one arm had been severed just above the elbow. It stumbled out into the street, trying to balance on rapidly melting legs. Its eyes were gone entirely. All that remained were empty sockets full of smoke. Come on, seriously? Can an 05 just not die? It's totally gonna be the 05. The figure turned towards them and opened its mouth, and a foul moan echoed out of its charged throat. Why do you have to describe it like that? Drowning out all sounds around them. It took one step towards them, then another. Instinctively, Calvin fired at it, and a bullet tore through flesh and bone, but still it inched forward. The figure moaned again and raised its hand, leveling a gun at Calvin's chest. He realized too late what it was, but by the time he heard the crack of the gunshot, he was already on the ground. She was just so mad at this one guy. She survived the helicopter crash, picked up a gun at some point. She and like was like, I'm going to shoot this guy. Even though she said she wouldn't. By the way, she's a hypocrite. She said she wouldn't shoot Calvin earlier because reasons. She was like, no, you don't get to choose yourself. Because she was like, oh, you get to choose who I kill. This politician, one of your friends, this politician or one of your friends. And he was like, well, I pick myself. And then she was like, no, you don't get to die. But I guess she changed her mind somewhere along the line. Standing over him was Anthony, hand clutching the side of his neck. Another hack, and he stumbled backwards as Olivia screamed and fired back. Blood was pooling underneath his shirt. There was a third crack and the sound of a bullet ricocheting off the pavement, and the holder of the gun collapsed into the smoldering, unmoving pile. Anthony turned as if to walk away and fell, only barely avoiding slamming into the pavement as Adam slid underneath him to break his fall. Calvin scrambled to his feet and rushed over. Blood was now pulsing out from under Anthony's fingers on his neck, and more was seeping through his shirt. Olivia was trying to pressure. Wait, hold on, did she shoot? No, it was at Calvin. And then he stopped. At which point was Adam? Oh, wait, yeah, Adam. Right, Adam threw the spear and was all weakened, so I guess. And more seeping through his shirt. Olivia was trying to keep pressure on the chest wound, but Anthony waved her off. He took a breath and then another. Each felt it like it lasted an eternity, and each more ragged and uncertain than the last. Calvin stood over him, blood now splattering onto his shoes every time Anthony coughed. The helplessness of it all began to close round him like a shroud. Then he felt something, a weight that he had forgotten about, and suddenly remembered. He reached into his jacket and pulled out a crystal vial of clear shimmering fluid. He held it in front of him, the light of the fires behind them dancing across its surface like fireworks in rain. Adam saw it too, and his eyes grew wide. Olivia had stopped what she was doing, and then they were all watching Calvin. Almost unconsciously, he brought his other hand up to remove the seal. "No," croaked Anthony, who splittled in blood. "Calvin, no, don't." Olivia looked back at him, tears streaming down her face. "Anthony, please, we can save you, we can." The older man shook his head. "No, not like that, no." His eyes, which had until this moment been unfocused, were now locked onto Calvin's. "My mistake, mine, not yours." Dude, it's just like a magic potion of undying. Like, it's not that bad. It's not like it'll curse you to live for another eternity. Just trust me, dude. Just trust me on this. Trust me on this. I know what I'm doing. Take the potion. No negative side effects such as outliving all your loved ones. Calvin hesitated, his hand still inches from the seal of the vial. Then as quickly as he had produced it, he slid it away into his jacket. Anthony sighed. "Vincent. Bravo, Vince. Bravo, Vince." He whispered, his voice hoarse and barely audible over the din. "Arians, it was my name." He raised a hand towards Calvin, who took it his own. "Here, now, for you, Anthony," he smiled. And after one more shallow breath, Anthony Wright died. Shit. Calvin was the first to stand. He took several deep breaths, trying desperately not to think about it. "We need to go," he said. "The carpool," he said there were cars. "We need to get out of here." Adam looked up, his eyes red behind tears. "We can't leave him here. We can't." He turned to Olivia as if to beg her, but she was already frantically digging around in her bag. After a second, she pulled out a thin brush and a small container of light blue paint. She motioned for Adam to stand back, and the young man took 2 hesitant steps away from Anthony's body. With a swift left hand, she ran long lines of paint across the body. At the spots where the lines intersected, light shined through the colors of the paint as if from underneath it. What? She ran several more lines and then more, crossing over those, and then stepped back. Anthony's body was covered in many thin lines of glowing blue paint, which blinked and pulsed slowly. She leaned forward over him and leaned down to kiss him on the forehead. "Kissing the homies goodnight. Guys, remember to give the homies a full body paint before kissing them goodnight. Otherwise it's homo. That's the only way to apply the no homo rule." Like lightning, the lines all lit up at once. Each of the individual cells created by the crossing lines began to change until they were cloudy and opaque, as if he was covered in many pieces of stained glass. As they all solidified into glass cocoon around the body, Olivia brought the other end of her brush down into the center of the figure, shadowing it. "Dude, not cool. We can't just leave him here. turns person into glass, shatters him. Like, that feels like more disrespectful, I'm gonna be honest. The glass collapsed, and suddenly the air was filled with a prismatic cloud of crystal butterflies, each sounding a single note of a song that played around them over the chaos of the fighting beyond. How do you have time for this? I feel like just taking the body with them would have taken less time and effort that played around them over the chaos of the fighting beyond. They swung around the group once and then away from them into the air. Excuse me. The glass was no more, and Anthony's body was gone. Calhoun grabbed the two of them, and together they raced down the alley towards the back of the manor. More explosions lit up the night sky, and dark figures raced into the woods outside the city all around them. When they reached the car lot, half of the vehicles there were on fire, and a 10-meter crater was carved out of the ground where they had been. They I think that's meant to be day. They scrambled through an open gate and surveyed the scene. Shit, Olivia said. What are we going to do? Without a warning, a military jeep came around the corner from behind a patch of trees, stopping in front of them. The door opened and a man climbed out, his features hidden beneath a hood and bandana. Take the car, the man said. Drive north until you are out of the country. A map in the glove box will take you to the next contact. He looked back towards the flaming city behind him. Is the overseer dead? Calvin nodded. The man didn't move. And White? None of them responded. The man paused and then he handed a pack to Calvin. This is food, water, and munitions to last you until you reach the checkpoint. You must hurry. The overseers have their kill squads roaming the countryside looking for you. He took a few steps towards the tree line and then turned back. For the insurgency, Calvin echoed. The man disappeared into the trees, and three of them climbed into the jeep. As another bomb dropped nearby, they tore out of the lot and onto the dirt road heading north into the dark forest. Dude, was he just saved by... were they just saved by the Lorax? He took a few steps towards the tree line and then the man disappeared into the trees. I think they were just saved by the Lorax, if I'm gonna be honest. The Lorax saved them. Speak for the trees. The trees want the overseers dead. Please don't be very aggressive, please. Well, I did promise I'd comics thing at the end. Maybe I can... Hold on. Give me a minute. I'll be right back. Ricky, are you still here? Better still be here, Ricky. Ricky. Okay, you're not dead. Good. Good. What's this shit? Wait, hold on. I should probably. What does this lead to? Yeah, which fire does what? Okay. That I do not currently need, so I can do this. Fuck. I didn't even need to do that. Huh. Now. Camera, please. Activate camera. There you go. Look down more. I'm not important. What's on the table is important. No, it's not box time. I'll give you the box experience that you deserve. Well, how did I put the rest of it? It's not being box time. Here you go, Ricky. Ricky, I give you the box experience you deserve. I repacked the box very quickly. Yeah. You know what? You get it even better than the other people, cause I got this ring light, so I have better lighting this time. Whoa! Would have seen this coming. Remember the SCP books? Well, SCP. It might be unclear, but it says SCP. It says comic series there. Take it out. And we don't care about the box. Yes. There you go. Now it's probably a little more clear. There you go. This comics. Oh fuck. And for some reason my microphone doesn't. Is it because there's like a filter on my microphone or something? Just a sec. It is. There's noise suppression on it. I'll try to turn noise. I think noise suppression off and see if you can hear it now. Because people couldn't hear it before. When I open it, it makes a noise, and I continued to accidentally activate it multiple times, so it got pretty annoying for me, but apparently people couldn't hear it, so
Attention to all personnel. Containment breach, Sector 19.
there you go. That plays every time you open it. So let's take a look at the
Attention to all personnel. Containment breach, Sector 19.
every time you open it to a certain point. Yes, it's the insides. First off, yeah, yeah, yeah. Just- I can't figure it out. Wait, before I had to open it way more. Why is it?
Containment breach, Sector 19.
Anyway, sticker. But I'll take it all out. I'll take it. I'll take it out all at once, and then we can just look at it from this angle. Sticker, big sticker. Need I say more? Big SCP sticker. I have no idea where I'll stick this because it's big. It's very big. I'll probably just keep it around like this. More stickers. Would you look at that? That one's the hardest to see. It's Fermial. It's purple. It's actually because it's a shitty webcam, and the lighting is not bad in this room by any means. It's just a shitty webcam. This is Fermial, and it's purple, not the blue one like it looks on the freaking camera for some reason. Here's like a little display set. Actually, maybe I'll just disassemble this right now on stream for funsies, because it's with the Plague Doctor, and we all praise and love the Plague Doctor, for he is the cure. God damn it! Do I have to pull this out again? I used this to open the box. Now I'm gonna have to use it again to get this open. You never saw me use that tool. I forgot to give out the warning. You know, if you have kids around, you might not want them seeing someone use a knife like that. Don't give them any good ideas, especially if they're British. Now I just have to figure out what the hell is going on here. How do I get them out? How do I breach containment? Is there like another lead? It feels like there's another. Oh. Oh my god. I thought it was like oh it is just like sticky. It's sticky. Yeah. 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 Look. The guy, the doctor, the actual doctor, sorry, Plague Doctor, the actual doctor, he can stand up. Now he can perform stand-up comedy. Oh my god, that cannot be good for the camera having that much light. How do I place this? I know. I use myself as the stand. There we go. Can't forget about the doctor himself, who is T-posing for some reason. He's gotta make a stand. Look, he just wants a hug, I think. Give him a hug. Oh, you can see the reflection of the screen where I still have the SCP text. Richard? This guy? Of course, also have to. You gotta get it like really in there. Gotta put a lot of pressure on it. If you don't win the race, then then you're the one that's gonna pay. I'm gonna fire you if you don't. If the finances don't go up by 11% by next week. Like I said, you gotta put a lot of pressure on it. There you go. It's a guy. It's a zombie guy. You guys like this ASMR? What's this? Setting up a little scene here. Doctor's watching. And he's all like, yeah. Did I do that? Well, you can not really see it from this angle, I suppose. But you get the idea. You get the idea. No, I see that coming. I can see that. I can see what's gonna happen. And oh wait, I don't think it actually played. Well, Marge, refund that one. Anyway, get to the good bad. The actual comics that I paid for May last year. Whoa, it's this guy. Whoa, I actually don't know which SCP this is. I mean, it's an SCP tale. Oh, wait, no, I know this one. This is the one, I think this is the one where the old man, 106, he goes on a murdering spree on Halloween and steals, something with children's teeth, man. It might be that one. I might be wrong. This one, I genuinely have no idea. I haven't read that SCP, I'm gonna be honest. Or I might have. I just don't recognize it. That's the doctor. That's the doctor. And that's the spooky realm. That's the spooky realm. That's the one where I told, oh god damn it, I'm gonna have my hydrate? Fine. That was the rest of my water. It's the one I made joystick read, where I was like, don't worry, it's not that long. I pulled a Reiki on him. It's very long. At least the actual SCP, the comic book, of course, a bit different, I imagine. Oh my god. Hey, look. Reaction image. The reaction image dropped. There was the book I chose to open to like show off on stream, and this was like the first thing that caught my eye. Oh. That panel is so good. Fuck. Hey, look, it's you guys. It's you guys watching this stream. I don't have more water. I can't hydrate more. I'm sorry. No, I can't. This is the end of the stream. Which you'd known if you were here only. If anything, this is your fault. It's your fault that you're wasting away your tokens right now. Not tokens, trash bags. Getting confused for another economy that I rule. Anyway. Holy shit, it didn't play the thing. I feel like Indiana Jones, like carefully lifting the golden idol off and replacing it with a sandbag. Any moment, the alarm could go off. But there's one last thing I need to show off. If I can... Come on, I will show off the pins. The family printer is in my room, and someone decided to print something at 8:31 p.m. Give it a moment. Just there we go. Pin. Are you done? Thanks. Pins. Would you look at that? Now you can actually see the truest of introverts will kidnap you if you so much as mention the introvert. Luckily he's not real, so we can talk about him here. The melted doggo, the more aggressive introvert, kind of tweaking. We got the good dog, the doggo, the funny acid dog, and that is what the mask is. Will I wear them? No. I'm just going to keep them in this box forever, because they look good on display. I mean, come on. Come on. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do the thing. Don't do the thing. Don't do the thing. I know I bought the collector's edition, but because I could. You can't buy this edition anymore because it's the collector's edition, and it was only for the people who helped fund the Kickstarter in May. May last year. May I remind? I've waited for this for a year, almost. Not March last year. It's not an actual year, but it's almost a year. I'm not going to wear them. They're just gonna wear down. No pun intended, by the way. That's not POG. Not very POG. You can still see very clearly the text reflecting of him. It's still it's the text I just read. Okay, I'll give you one last little alarm.
Attention. Attention to all personnel. Containment breach in Sector 19.
Anyone want to watch like Jurassic Park after this? Because I'm gonna go because I may not stream more after this, but I might hit up a movie night with Jurassic Park. Cool. There's no way you can dance. You either sing or you dance. You do not do both, and you sing. There's only one person on this earth that can both sing and dance. Currently alive. There can only be one of those people alive at a time, and it's Slimeskull. Slimeskull is that person. Yeah. Off with the light. You cannot do both. You think you can do both. But everyone knows the truth. They're just too afraid to tell it to you. What a stupid bit to end off on. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching me give myself a throat sore for 2 hours. Anyone watching the VOD, congrats on making it this far through a stream with not that many funny bits, because I was reading for most of it, and also doing an unboxing stream all of a sudden. Twice. I unboxed the same box twice in the same stream. I think that's a first. That's gotta be some kind of record. But yeah, and as always, stay trashy.